in the Austrian Empire, in the small village of Smiljan today, part of Croatia, was born on July 10, 1856, one of history's most brilliant and enigmatic minds, Nikola Tesla. He came into the world during a lightning storm, a premonition, some would say, of his future obsession with electricity. Son of a Serbian Orthodox priest, Milutin Tesla, and Juka Mandic, a self-taught inventor of household tools, Nikola was exposed early on to a mix of religion, philosophy, and practical ingenuity. Tesla's childhood was marked by insatiable curiosity and remarkable photographic memory. He demonstrated a unique ability to visualize machines and inventions in his mind with absolute clarity, even before drawing them. He attended the Polytechnic School in Graz, Austria, between 1875 and 1878, where he studied electrical engineering. There, he became fascinated by a direct current, or DC, dynamo, which seemed inefficient. It was during this period that the idea of a motor that would operate on alternating current, or AC, began to take shape in his mind, a concept that would lead him to a technological revolution. The idea of alternating current was radical for the time. The electricity then in use, promoted by Thomas Edison, was direct current, which could only be transmitted over short distances and required generators near consumption points. Tesla's vision was of an AC system that could transmit energy over long distances with minimal losses, using transformers to adjust voltage. However, the scientific and industrial community was fixated on direct current technology, and young Tesla would face considerable skepticism. After leaving university, Tesla worked in Budapest, Hungary, where, in 1882, he had an epiphany. While walking through a park, the solution for the alternating current motor came to his mind. He drew a diagram in the sand, demonstrating how a rotating magnetic field, generated by alternating currents, could drive a motor more efficiently than DC systems. This vision, which would be the basis of his greatest contribution, propelled him to seek opportunities where his ideas could be developed and accepted. In 1884, with only 4 cents in his pocket and a letter of recommendation, Nikola Tesla landed in New York, in the United States. The letter, written by his former employer in Europe, read, "I know 2 great men, and you are one of them. The other is this young man." The recipient was none other than Thomas Edison, the famous inventor of the incandescent light bulb and the main proponent of direct current. Tesla was determined to work with the electricity giant and share his vision for an electrified future. His path was set, and the encounter with Edison would be the ignition point for one of history's greatest technological battles. Nikola Tesla's arrival in the United States in 1884 placed him directly in the orbit of Thomas Edison, the Wizard of Menlo Park, and the main advocate for direct current, DC. Initially, Tesla worked at Edison's company, receiving the task of improving DC generators and motors. Rumors say that Edison promised Tesla $50,000, a fortune at the time, if he could solve certain problems with his DC equipment. Tesla, with his genius, delivered the solution, but Edison reportedly refused to pay, saying the promise was an American joke. This disagreement marked the end of their collaboration and the beginning of a historic rivalry. After the breakup with Edison, Tesla found a fundamental ally in George Westinghouse, an industrialist and inventor with an open mind for innovation. Westinghouse, already a giant in the field of air brakes for trains, saw the revolutionary potential of Tesla's alternating current, AC. In 1888, Westinghouse bought Tesla's patents for his AC motor and transformer systems, paying him a substantial sum, which included a royalty for each horsepower of electricity generated, an agreement that, if maintained, would have made Tesla one of the richest men in the world. Then began the infamous war of currents. On one side, Thomas Edison and his supporters advocated for direct current, arguing it was safer and already established. On the other, Tesla and Westinghouse promoted alternating current, highlighting its efficiency in transmitting power over long distances, with fewer losses and costs. Edison's campaign against AC was aggressive and, at times, unethical. He tried to discredit alternating current by conducting shocking public demonstrations where he electrocuted animals, such as dogs and even an elephant, to associate AC with danger and death. Edison even supported the development of the electric chair using AC for executions, in an attempt to solidify alternating current's image as lethal. Despite Edison's defamatory campaign, the technical superiority of alternating current was undeniable. Tesla's system allowed electricity to be generated at distant power plants and transmitted at high voltages through thin wires, and then transformed to lower, safer voltages for domestic and industrial use in cities. This made large-scale electrification viable and economical. AC's victory would be sealed at historical milestones. The 1893 Chicago World's Fair, known as the Columbian Exposition, was a decisive stage. While Edison's company proposed electrifying the fair with DC for an exorbitant price, Westinghouse, using Tesla's technology, won the bid by offering a much lower cost. The dazzling illumination of the fair, with over 100,000 AC lamps shining brightly, demonstrated to the world the safety and efficiency of alternating current. It was a visual and technological triumph for Tesla and Westinghouse, The final blow came with the Niagara Falls hydroelectric power plant project. In 1895, the contract to generate and transmit power from Niagara Falls to the city of Buffalo, New York, was awarded to Westinghouse, utilizing Tesla's alternating current systems. This was the world's first large-scale AC power system, proving the viability of AC2 power in entire cities and industries. This monumental achievement not only provided clean and efficient energy, but also established alternating current as the global standard for electricity distribution, a legacy that endures to this day. The war of currents was won. Tesla's vision, supported by Westinghouse's business acumen, had prevailed over Edison's empire. America, and soon the world, would be illuminated by alternating current, and Tesla's name would be etched in history as the father of modern electrification. With alternating current firmly established as the global standard for energy, Nikola Tesla, a man who lived more in the future than in his own time, turned his attention to even more audacious inventions. His tireless mind was not content with what was already known. He dreamed of a world of abundant and free energy, of instant communication, and of technologies that only science fiction dared to imagine. One of his most iconic creations is the Tesla coil, invented in 1891. This resonant transformer, capable of producing extremely high voltages at high frequencies, created spectacular electrical discharges, a true artificial lightning. Although today it is associated with science, demonstrations, and entertainment, the Tesla coil was the basis for many of his pioneering researches in illumination, X-rays, and, mainly, the wireless transmission of energy and information. It was the tool that would allow Tesla to experiment with his grandest visions. Tesla was one of the main fathers of the radio. Years before Guglielmo Marconi was widely credited with the invention, Tesla had already developed and patented the fundamental technology for transmitting and receiving radio signals. In 1893, he publicly demonstrated wireless communication, transmitting radio signals over a considerable distance, although a later decision by the U.S. Supreme Court, in 1943, recognized Tesla's patents as precedent to Marconi's. The popular and financial recognition of his contribution to radio was, for the most part, stolen from him. His most ambitious, and also most frustrated, vision was the large-scale wireless transmission of energy. Tesla believed it was possible to distribute electricity through the air, without the need for cables. Between 1901 and 1905, he built the Wardenclyffe Tower, in Long Island, New York. This imposing structure, about 57 meters high with a copper dome at its top, was a prototype of a wireless power transmission station and a global transatlantic communication system. Tesla dreamed of providing free and unlimited energy to the world, a global network of information and energy for all. However, his investors, such as financier J.P. Morgan, who initially supported the project, lost interest when Tesla revealed that his objective was to transmit energy for free. Morgan, like other capitalists of the time, was interested in profiting from electricity, not in democratizing it. Without continuous funding, the Wardenclyffe Tower was never completed and was eventually demolished in 1917. This was a devastating blow for Tesla, who saw his grandest dream crumble. In addition to these notable inventions, Tesla's mind teemed with ideas that seemed straight out of a distant future. He conceived and worked on concepts for robotics, remote control, bladeless turbines, death rays, a concept that never materialized, but fueled many legends, and even ideas for exploring cosmic energy. Many of his patents and researches were pioneering in fields that would only be fully explored decades later. He was so far ahead of his time that he was often seen as an eccentric or even a madman by his contemporaries. His genius was accompanied by notable peculiarities. Tesla was known for his aversion to jewelry, for his OCD with numbers divisible by 3, for his rigid daily routine, and for his unusual diet. He didn't care much for wealth or fame itself, but rather for the realization of his ideas for the benefit of humanity. This almost monastic devotion to science and invention, combined with his lack of business skills and his gradual isolation, would lead to many of his achievements not being fully recognized in his lifetime. The Wizard of Electricity was, in fact, a solitary visionary whose understanding of the electrical universe far surpassed the capacity of his peers. The last years of Nikola Tesla's life were marked by financial decline and increasing isolation. Although his alternating current patents had revolutionized the world and made Westinghouse a giant, Tesla was not a businessman. His passion lay in invention and the pursuit of knowledge, not in the accumulation of wealth. He refused the opportunity to become a billionaire by waiving his royalties to help Westinghouse overcome a financial crisis, an act of generosity that, ironically, left him in hardship. Tesla lived most of his life in hotels, accumulating debts and, gradually, withdrawing from the public and the scientific community. His eccentricity increased and became famous for his dedication to pigeons he fed in New York and for his rigid daily routines and peculiar diets. Although the press still sought him out occasionally, many of his later announcements of inventions, such as the death ray, or the ability to communicate with other planets, were met with skepticism, and he was often ridiculed as a mad scientist. He died alone, in a New York hotel room, on January 7, 1943, at the age of 86. His death went relatively unnoticed amidst the effervescence of World War II. However, Tesla's immortality would not be determined by his fortune or his fame in life, but by the transformative power of his ideas. Shortly after his death, the US government confiscated all his papers and belongings, generating speculation about the secret nature of his last inventions. Over time, the true magnitude of his contributions began to be rediscovered and recognized. Nikola Tesla's legacy is the very backbone of our modern world. His invention in defense of alternating current is the basis of all our electrical infrastructure, from generation in hydroelectric and thermal power plants to the outlets in our homes, our power grids, the lights in our cities, the electricity that powers our industries. All this exists thanks to Tesla's vision. The Tesla coil continues to be a fundamental instrument in high voltage and resonance research. His patents and principles are applied in areas like radio technology, where he is now widely recognized as the true pioneer, robotics, remote control, and wireless transmission itself, which we see today in our Wi-Fi and Bluetooth devices. Beyond his direct inventions, Tesla's impact lies in his visionary approach to science and engineering. He didn't just seek solutions to existing problems, he imagined entirely new futures. His interdisciplinary thinking, which connected physics, mathematics, engineering, and even philosophy, put him ahead of his peers, and continues to inspire scientists and inventors to think outside the box. In the 21st century, Nikola Tesla has become a popular icon, especially among technology enthusiasts, inventors, and those who value originality and the fight against the establishment. Companies bear his name, and his story is retold in books, documentaries, films, and video games. He is seen as the uncomprehended genius, who dreamed of a future of free energy and technologies that could have saved humanity from the ills of the industrial world. His life is a vivid reminder of the complexities of innovation and recognition, and how genius, at times, is only fully appreciated long after its time. The wizard of electricity, who illuminated the world, finally receives the light he is due. Nikola Tesla's life was a journey of genius, invention, and often, misunderstanding. Which of his inventions or visions fascinates you most, or do you believe changed the world the most? If Tesla lived today, with access to current technology, what invention do you think he would be working on, or what global problem would he try to solve? Share your opinion in the comments and join our discussion about the immortal legacy of one of history's greatest geniuses. And if there's another visionary scientist, or a figure who revolutionized their field of study, that you'd love us to explore in our next video, leave your suggestion below. Your curiosity is our guide to unraveling the great stories of the world, and the next adventure begins with you.